I put my glasses on because I can't see anything. Much better. Hey guys, welcome back to another bookish video. So I think I am officially back from hiatus, break, vacation, time off, whatever you want to call it. I think I might officially be back. I don't know for sure, I just know I had to take some time off. As you guys can see, I got a bunch more room. Very excited. I got all my shenanigans over here. I got room for activities over here. I got room for activities over here. I got all kinds of space now and I love it. And there's a cat in a box. Really quick, as you guys can see, I have expanded some space. This is actually a chest with all my like bookstagram shenanigans in it. And if you don't follow me, this drawer is going to annoy me very quickly. So, if you do not follow me on Instagram, here's my tag. I'm just gonna leave the drawer. We're just gonna ignore it. Here's my tag for Instagram. Go follow me on there. This green light on my glasses is going to bother me, but I am blind and can't see a thing, so sorry. Now on to the real read. I just punched myself in the face. Oh, this video is a disaster. Now on to the real reason why you guys are here. The reason you guys are here is because, you know, February 6th seemed like a good idea to actually put together my books I read in 2018. You know, only slightly late. Whatever, moving on. So in 2018, I read 113 YA books. Now, I'm going to preface all of this by saying that I listen to a lot of audiobooks. If you've paid attention to me whatsoever, I listen to audiobooks. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but too bad, because I have a busy on-the-go life and I need to get through books quickly, and in order to do that, I must listen. So because I went through 113 books, I'm not going to be holding things up and showcasing and doing the razzmatazz that some people do, because I don't have all of these books because I listen to them. So I will just give you guys some pictures on the side, and as I go through them, I am also, because there's 113 books, we are going to speed round this shit. I'm going to give you the book, the author, and my rating. If there is something you want me to elaborate more on, comment down below and I will be happy to do a video on it. So, let's get these started. So first and foremost, I started off the year with finishing the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I started with Scarlet, which I gave 3 stars. Then I moved to Crest for 4 stars, Winter for 4 stars, and Stars Above for 3 stars. Next, I finished off the Immortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, because Lord knows I was behind and needed to get that shit done. I did City of Lost Souls for 4 stars, City of Heavenly Fire for 4 stars as well. Kinda disappointed in how that series ended, but it is what it is. Moving on. Next, I moved on to Renegades by Marissa Meyer, which I gave 4 stars. I don't know why I gave it 4 stars, because in hindsight, that bitch is a 5-star read. Then I moved on to The Final 6 by Alexandra, which I gave 4 stars. Really excited to see where that series goes, because that was an awesome book. Next, I went to Invisible Ghost by Robyn Schneider, which I gave 3 stars. Moving on, 4 classes, because you know college students have to read things and they count. I read Measure for Measure by William Shakespeare. I gave that 3 stars, and I read Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, which I also gave 3 stars. Next, we moved into the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, I gave 5 stars. Days of Blood and Starlight, I gave 3 stars. And Dreams of Gods and Monsters, I gave 2 stars. The story started off really, really good for me, and then it just kept going down and never picked back up. Next, we went into A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. The first book I gave 5 stars because, hell. The next one, A Gathering of Shadows, I also gave 5 stars because it was also amazing. The third book, A Conjuring of Light, I gave 3 stars. I believe that was I burned myself up on massive books, and it just kind of ate away at my soul, so I don't think I appreciated book 3 nearly as much as I could have or should have or whatever you want to say. Next, one of the most recent books of my all-time favorite series came out, which was Fated by Karen Lynch. This book is book 6 in the Relentless series, which you guys know I am obsessed with. This one, however, did fall very flat for me, and I only gave this one 2 stars. Next, because everybody can't shut the hell up about it, I started Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. The first one I gave 4 stars, the second one, Siege and Storm, I gave 3 stars. Now, I have not read the third book, and I don't know if I will anytime soon because it took me forever to get through Siege and Storm, and I don't know if I'm ready to start Ruin and Rising anytime soon. Next, because I am a glutton for punishment and torture, I moved on to Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, which I gave 5 stars, and then I went on to Lord of Shadows, which was also 5 stars, cause page flip. After that, I moved on to The Darkest Minds by Alexandra. I do not like this angle. The lighting is weird on my eyes, and I just smacked my lips and got lipstick all over my face. Again, this video is a disaster. Okay, I think we're good. Going back over here. Next, I went on to The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken because the movie was coming out, which I still have not seen, even though I really, really want to. But the book was very good, and I gave it a 3 stars. I also had a bit of a lag, which I think is more me than it was the book, but One of my more proud moments, side note, is that Alexandra Bracken actually liked my post on Instagram. Made me very, very happy and squeal a little bit more than I should have. Next, I went on and finished the Vampire Academy series because I realized I never actually finished it when I read it through the first time. So I read Spirit Bound by Rochelle Mead for 3 stars and Last Sacrifice for 3 stars. I don't know how I feel about the ending. I've got multiple feelings that I don't agree with. I believe I did do a book talk on both of those, so go check those out. Next, my all hail glory that is Sarah J. Maas put out A Court of Frost and Starlight. This book was a 4-star read for me. Not her best book in the world, but it's still SJM, so I'm automatically going to love it. After that, I read A Flicker in the Clarity by Amy McNamara, which I gave 4 stars. Holy crap, guys, I related to this book so much. I've posted about this before, but if you have not read this book, go read it. I identify with it so much. Next, I read the Revenant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. The Kiss of Deception, I gave 4 stars. The Heart of Betrayal, I gave 4 stars. And The Beauty of Darkness, I gave 3 stars. Very well-rounded series, very enjoyable. Next, I read the Monsters of Verity series by Victoria Schwab. This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet are 5-star reads, and if you do not cry at the end of Our Dark Duet, you are a soulless monster. Next, I finished off the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I read Blue Lily Lily Bloom for 3 stars and The Raven King for 4 stars. I understand a lot of people love this series. Wasn't my favorite, but it also wasn't awful at the same time. Then I went on to Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This was a 4-star read for me because I am a sucker for nerds in love. Then I moved on to Geekarella by Ashley Poston for 4 stars because once again, I'm trash for girl nerds in love. Then I moved on to We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, and this one I gave a 2 stars, which a lot of people disagree with because they love this book. It just really wasn't for me. I didn't feel like it really went anywhere. Then I finally moved on to the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, and I found my Throne of Glass 2.0. And with that, I gave the book Fallen Kingdoms 4 stars, Rebel Springs 4 stars, Gathering Darkness 4 stars, Frozen Tides 4 stars, and Crystal Storm 5 stars, because holy crap, that ending, I did not see it coming. Page 1 done. And after that, I moved on to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee for 4 stars. Then we went back to Rainbow Rowell with Carry On for 4 stars. Super excited for Wayward Son. Side note, then I went on to the Hush Hush Saga and reread all 4 books. I read all of these books years ago, but I decided to try them again since it was announced that it is becoming a movie, so I figured, why not? These books are by Becca Fitzpatrick, and I gave them 3 stars all the way around because it's definitely a early 2000s series, but I'm still trash for that kind of shit. Next, I moved on to the Lux series by Jennifer Armentrout. This lady's name's gonna be the definite name. Still can't talk. Next, I moved on to the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I gave Obsidian 3 stars, Onyx 3 stars, Opal 4 stars, Origin 3 stars, and Opposition 4 stars. Not my favorite series in the world. I read it because a friend suggested it, and I I can't complain. Next, I moved on to the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. I've been wanting to read these books forever. So glad I finally got around to them. Shatter Me was a 4-star read for me. Unravel Me was 5. Ignite Me was 5. Restore Me was 5 stars. Fracture Me was 3. And Destroy Me was 3 stars. I wasn't a big fan of the novellas that were supposed to fill the gaps. I'm really creeped out right now because my cat is staring at me watching, and it's just... I didn't really enjoy the little novella side stories because I didn't feel like they really contributed to the story. Like, it was nice knowing, but I was gonna be perfectly fine without knowing the information you learned from them. Next, I moved on to the Nightshade series by Andrea Kremer. Nightshade, I gave 4 stars. Wolfsbane, I gave 4 stars. And Blood Rose, I gave 4 stars. After that, I moved on to Sky in the Deep by Jenny... I'm jumping around my list. Next, I moved on to Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, which I gave 5 stars. I think I was one of the few people that loved the shit out of this book because many people found problems with it, but it was amazing and they are wrong. Next, I moved on to the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. That book, I gave 3 stars. P.S. I Still Love You, I gave 4 stars. And Always and Forever, Lara Jean, I gave 5 stars because that series came together beautifully. Next, I moved on to 100 Oaks by Miranda Kennelly. I butchered her name in my reviews too, and I was just... I'm sorry. I apologize. So, the first book, Catching Jordan, I gave 3 stars. I gave Stealing Parker 2 stars. I gave Coming Up for Air 3 stars, and Defending Taylor 3 stars. I didn't read all the books in the series, but these are the ones I had on audiobook, so I got through them pretty quickly. After that, I moved on to Tempest Sand Slaughter, because Booksplosion was reading it. I've been wanting it to read it for a while, so I figured, why not? Let's go for it. So, this book is by Tamora Pearson. I gave it 3 stars. Super slow, but it eventually picked up, and I enjoyed it. After that, I moved on to the Snow Like Ashes trilogy by Sarah Rosh. Snow Like Ashes, I gave 5 stars. Ice Like Fire, 5 stars. And Frost Like Night, 5 stars, because I adore this series. It is phenomenal all the way around. Page flip! After that, I moved on to Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I gave this book 3 stars. It was very cute, but maybe I just wasn't into it at the moment, but it was very cute. After that, I reread the Relentless series. We have Relentless, Refuge, Rogue, and Warrior, and 5 stars all the way around because it is amazing. I love Karen Lynch. Please adopt me. Thank you. Then I moved on to the Shadowfall series by Cece Hunter. We Have Born at Midnight, which I gave 3 stars. Taken at Dusk, which I gave 3 stars. Awaken at Dawn, 3 stars. Whispers at Moonrise, 3 stars. Chosen at Nightfall, 3 stars. And Saved at Sunrise, 3 stars. Could have simplified all that by saying 3 stars all the way around, but overall I enjoyed this series. I definitely found myself hooked and wanting to read the next one and excited. Next, for school, I had to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This one I gave 3 stars. It's a classic. It's definitely old-timey and can be hard to read sometimes, but at the same time, it's a nice story to be able to say, yes, I read that. Next, I moved on to The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I gave this one 3 stars. If you paid attention to my channel at all last year, you knew I was very let down by The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, so it is surprising I love this story. It took a very long time for me to get into it, but once I did, I caught myself reading all the way to the end and was happy about it. Next, I did some rereading, and I read Crown of Midnight, Airfire, Tower of Dawn, all by SJM, 5 stars all around for my queen. Karen Lynch, if you're not gonna adopt me, SJM, please adopt me, because she officially killed me with my baby, Kingdom of Ash. If you have not read this series, read it. Plug. If you have not read this series, read it. So then, yes, I read Kingdom of Ash. Are you really surprised? I'm trash for SJM, so Kingdom of Ash, 5-star read, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I have a goddamn banner up, for God's sakes. Okay, moving on. From there, I went on to the Hunter series by Mercedes Lackey. Hunter, I gave 3 stars, Elite 3 stars, and Apex 3 stars. It was a very cutesy story with monsters and defending the city, and it was very good if you were looking for an easy, light read. Next, we moved on to Burning Glass by Catherine Purdy. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. This one I gave 4 stars. Next, we moved on to Assassin's Heart by Sarah Ayres, which I gave 5 stars because this book pleasantly surprised me, and holy crap, I can't wait to read the next one whenever I get around to it. Then from there, we moved on to The Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross. This was 5 stars. Took me a while to get into it, but once I did, whoo-hoo! Next, I moved on to The Kissing Booth by Beth Reekles. I gave this 3 stars. Honestly, guys, the only reason I read this is because of the Netflix movie, and I wanted to see the origin story of the story. Next page. Wait, did I do both pages? Yes, I did do both pages. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. From there, I went on to the Shadow Falls After Dark series, also by Cece Hunter. Reborn 5 stars, Eternal 5 stars, Unspoken 5 stars, and Midnight Hour 5 stars. I believe this series was even better than the original Shadow Falls. It was a little bit more dynamic, dealt with a little bit more issues, and overall, it was awesome. Next, I did a reread once again of my beautiful, wonderful Sarah J. Maas, and I reread A Court of Mist and Fury, the 5 stars, duh. Then I also reread A Court of Wings and Ruin for 5 stars as well. After that, I went and read the After series because I discovered the trailer of this series that's coming out, and there's opinions and thoughts that I'm just not gonna get into, but holy crap, I love this series. This series is by Anna Todd, and it was originally fan fiction, which explains a lot about the content. I read After for 5 stars, After We Collided for 5 stars, After We Fell for 5 stars, and After Ever Happy for 5 stars. From there, because I was in a lovey-gushy mood apparently till the end of the year, I read some of the Field Party books by Abby Glines, Until Friday Night for 4 stars, After the Game for 4 stars, and Under the Lights for 4 stars. Then I moved on in a completely different direction and read Black Witch by Lori Forrest for 3 stars. That book is not what I expected it to be, but I'm content. We'll go with that. I'm content. From there, I couldn't get enough of Abby Glines, so I went back to her Seabreeze series, and I read Breathe for 4 stars, Because of Low for 4 stars, While It Lasts for 4 stars, and Just for Now for 4 stars. Now, I have actually finished that series now that we are into 2019. However, this is a books I read in 2018, so you do not get to know those ones yet. Maybe February of next year if tradition keeps being what it is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that list. I do actually part of this too. I want to mention some of the books I DNF'd, aka did not finish this year, only because I like comparing books that maybe I didn't like that you liked or you liked and I didn't. I wanted to share those with you guys and see what some of your reactions are to the books that I did not finish in 2018. So first and foremost, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. No surprise, we've been down that road. I made a video. Check it out if you need to know details. I also did not finish the book Between Us and the Moon by Rebecca Maisel. If you have read this book, you probably understand why. I don't remember the exact details, but basically it's a girl, I believe, of the age of like 14 or 15, pretending to be 18 to get the attention of a 19-year-old, and it's just it's very uncomfortable. As soon as I realized the age and whatnot, I said nope, and yeah. Anyway, I also tried to give Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard another try, and it did not go well because I do not like those books. Then I also tried to read The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. I believe that one was actually more my fault. I think I was in a reading slump and I tried to just like force myself to read something, and I couldn't get into it. I just didn't care, and I want to give that book another try, but I really do think it was just me. Next, I tried to read Hunted by Meagan Spooner. This book, I actually got most of the way through it, and I was just bored. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and not the best one. Out of all the Beauty and the Beast retellings out there, it's just not the best one in my opinion. It was alright. I wasn't excited. As soon as something else caught my attention, I moved on. From there, I tried to do We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Again, I think this one's just me because people go crazy about this book, and I think this one was just I wasn't in the right mindset to read it, so I just said meh. I'll probably go back to it at some point because it's a classic and people love it, so therefore I feel like I need to try and like it. And then I moved on to Magania by Maria Davana Headley. I am so sorry if I butchered that, but Magania is some weird ass shit. If you have tried to read this book or have read this book, you know this book is weird. I tried to stick with it, and I do fantasy, guys. Like, I obviously read fantasy and I enjoy like mystical things, but book is weird. Then we tried Graceling by Kristen Kashur, and again, I think this one was me. If you couldn't tell, there's a theme where I try to like force books upon myself, and it sometimes just doesn't work. Then I tried to do Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, and this one was because of a reading group, book club group of people that read books. We were reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I think it was just one of those, like, it didn't vibe with me, so I just didn't participate that month. Now, this next one's going to get me hated by some people, but I DNF'd Truth Wish by Susan Dennard. This one especially, I think, was a me. I don't think I was in the mindset to read this book. I picked it up because she was all over my Twitter at one point, and I was like, yeah, I'll give her books a try. And like I said, I think I just mentally wasn't ready or prepared to read her book. I do absolutely want to give it another try because she is an amazing person and I really want to like her work. Next, I tried to read Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This book I simply just didn't like. I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't something that I was going at, like, I wasn't super excited to read, and I started and I was like, okay, I understand the story, I understand the premise, and it just never really went anywhere for me, which is a shame because I really wanted to like it. Next, I tried to read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and if you guys know, Marissa Meyer is one of my all-time favorite authors, so this one was a little disappointing. The story of the Red Queen isn't all that exciting to me. I might give it another chance because I love Marissa Meyer that much, but just the story of the Red Queen just isn't all that appealing or exciting for me. One of my first DNFs for last year, which is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I believe I did a video on this one as well. This book was extremely confusing. I had no idea what was happening, who was where, and who was what. I couldn't follow it, which was disappointing because his other series, The Knife of Never Letting Go, is phenomenal and I rave about that book constantly, and it was just disappointing that his other work didn't live up to it. We're done. We're done with lists. I got no more lists. So that was everything I read / DNF'd in 2018. Guys, be sure you like, be sure you subscribe. The only way we are going to grow this channel is by subscribing and making this a community of people who care and share and love and things and stuff, and yeah. I hope you guys keep on reading, love what you're reading, and I will see you next time.